700 ESPN, 1080 ESPN on the web, 700ESPN.com. Patch and Luke Zanoso in the Frost Brewed Coors Light studio. Don't forget, when the ticket window opens, be caller 10 at 244-ESPN, 244-3776. 2 tickets to see the Mariners and the Texas Rangers at Safeco Field on the 15th of July. The poll question today is, how many hot dogs could you eat in 10 minutes? Go to 700ESPN.com and cast your vote.
All right, here's one of the things I like about the World Series of Poker, or basically I can't call it the sport, but the activity of poker, is that the regular guy can sit down next to the best in the world and compete for a championship. Dennis and I, Keith, as long as we got 10 grand, we can pony up. We can go. We can go sit next to Phil Hellmuth, who's won 13 bracelets now in the World Series of Poker, and we can take him on.
Or we can sit next to the guy who just won $18.3 million.
Oh, that was something else.
Antonio,
on Friday night.
What is it?
Esfandiari.
Esfandiari.
Yeah, which he's won a few million before that too. But one of the people who gets to do that is Taylor Henry from Spokane, and I know there are other people from Spokane who are going to play in the main event of the World Series of Poker next week or this weekend, starting this weekend. But Taylor's one of the people I know. And he won his seat. He's been on a hot streak this year, and he joins us on the phone now. Taylor, what's going on?
Oh, not much. How about yourself, Rick?
Not too bad, not too bad. Did you play today?
I didn't.
You didn't play today? All right.
No. I've just been kind of hanging out, chilling.
This is a strange day if Taylor didn't play poker. I can tell you that. It's a strange day. But Taylor won his seat in a tournament at Northern Quest. It was a $100 buy-in or whatever it was, or people could win a seat in this tournament to win a seat. But Taylor won his way into this $10,000 seat. It's not the only huge tournament he's won this year. What else have you won, Taylor?
I took second in the Best of the West tournament that they had out at Northern Quest, and I also took 26th place in Tulalip Poker Pro Challenge.
All right, so all told, you've won, and Taylor, he actually said, I can ask him this because he's already said this on the story on lukeandthelarge.com. You've won somewhere north of $40,000 in, if you throw that $10,000 seat that you won in, you won somewhere north of $40,000 this year?
Yep, right around 42, 43,000.
Taylor, do you consider yourself a professional, or are you just a really good amateur player?
I would say I'm just a really good amateur player. As soon as I do a little bit better in a few of these other bigger tournaments, I could maybe say I'm a pro, but
Taylor,
until then.
Are you just really good at tournaments, or can you play cash game as well? I mean, it takes, some people are better at one than the other. Are you just like to play both, or are you a better tournament guy?
I'm a lot better tournament guy. I don't play much live games and whatnot. Yeah, I'm more of a strategic tournament player, just try and last my way through the tournament.
Now, in this tournament that you won at Tulalip, which is over in Marysville on the west side of the state, there were some bigger names in that. Tell us who you sat down with there.
I sat down with Michael Mizrachi.
He's pretty good.
Yep, Matt Affleck was in the tournament. He was on the WSOP a few years ago. And a guy named Chip Jett. And he's won a couple $1 million in cash and prizes and whatnot. And he beat my pocket kings with pocket aces.
That bum.
Hey. No. I wonder, how did that play out? Were you first to act? Did you make a big pre-flop bet, and did he come over the top, or was it the other way around?
He came over the top of me. I was playing with Mizrachi, who was doing nothing but re-raising the day before. So I was sitting there. I was maybe about 5th place in chips at the time. So if I would have just coasted the final table, it was $10,000 win minimum. But I made a raise under the gun. I was one of the first people to act, had pocket kings. He re-raised me with pocket aces. And, of course, I pushed all in back at him, trying to scare him out of there, but pocket aces.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no. I wasn't going anywhere.
Look, and here's the reason I asked this, because I remember last year, and I can't remember the guy's name in the World Series of Poker last year. He was an older guy. He was he was 45 to 50 years old. I remember he was one of the amateurs that did really well, made it down to the final 2 tables. I wish I could remember his name, but he was
Darvin Moon?
No, it wasn't Darvin Moon, but it was basically the equivalent of Darvin Moon last season, a guy who kind of came out of nowhere and did really well. And he had a situation where it was still in the middle of the tournament somewhere, and he had a decent stack of chips. He was in your situation where he made a large bet with pocket kings, and somebody came over the top of him, and he thought about it for, well, in the edited version, he thought about it for about 1 or 2 minutes. He probably thought about it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes or more, and finally folded them face up, said, I'm throwing these away. And the guy who had come over the top didn't show his cards, but of course at home we get to see him. He had pocket aces.
And, I think actually, it was Sam Barnhart.
That was Sam Barnhart. You're exactly right. Now, he went on and made it, I think, down to I don't know if he made it the final table, but he made it down to the last 2 or 3 tables, which is a huge payday. Here's my question. At the World Series of Poker, you're faced with the same situation you were faced with in Tulalip. Can you lay those kings down?
It depends on how aggressive the player is. It's like I'm going to just kind of gauge on exactly how aggressive the player is. If they're a person who plays a lot of hands, I can make the call a lot easier. But when there's someone who's just been sitting there the whole entire time and only playing 5 hands in 8 hours, I've got to assume that they've got something.
Taylor Henry joining us. He's headed to the main event, the World Series of Poker, the $10,000 buy-in tournament where the top prize, we don't know what it'll be yet, but it'll be
It'll be more than $10.
It was. I think it was $8 or $9 million last year. Yeah.
So it should be in that ballpark. Taylor, do you? I mean, sure, you've thought about this. Do you wonder how you're going to act being in a tournament where it's a little more than normal?
Yeah, I just plan on being like dead serious, just ready to get down to business, period, and just come out with confidence, not let anybody get in my head and play my own game.
Who's to blame for your love of poker? Who taught you the game?
I sort of learned the game. I sort of just kind of picked it up. A few different friends, but one of the first times we ever went and played at Aces, and there was a guy who was sitting there who had a World Series of Poker bracelet. It was the very first time I ever played, and he goes, "You see this? It's the World Series of Poker bracelet." His name was Jack Duncan, and I seen that thing for the first time, and I've remembered it ever since. It's the first time I ever played, so.
Not a grandma, not a Boy Scout camp out, none of those kind of things where you learned?
Nope.
Taylor, what day? Now, there's several opening days of this tournament. What day are you playing in?
I'm playing on the 8th, and that's day B. So there's a day A, a day B, and a day C.
Are you going to go in there day A and check out what this is all about, or are you going to just get blindsided when you go in to play on your day?
Oh, I'm definitely going to roll in there, see what's all going on, see all the different people, see if some different pros, some different celebrities. I got a white sweatshirt, so I was planning on taking a few different colored pens and having all the different celebrities and pros sign my sweater.
Are you going to do that before you knock them out, correct? You're not going to say, you're out, now sign my sweatshirt, or you going to do it that way?
I might have to throw it down like that. Some people might get that, depending how much I like them.
I would give Taylor a little plug here. He has a business where he does lawns. It's called Lawn for Life, and he's famous for wearing the Lawn for Life cap when he plays poker. Are you going to wear that in Vegas?
Oh, I definitely am. Yeah, the Lawn for Life hat is notorious. Every time I walk into any casino, people just go, "Lawn for Life, Lawn for Life," start yelling it. So.
Are you nervous?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, it's definitely a good thing because I'm cautious and I understand of the competition that I'm up against, and I just got to believe in my own abilities because I've done it before and I know I can do it again. So,
do you think you'd play any different if you had to reach into your pocket and grab $10,000 and put it on the table than if you won a tournament to get in?
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever be able to pull $10,000 out of my pocket.
Hey, here's the deal. Taylor could sell this seat. He didn't have the option with Northern Quest Casino to take the cash.
Right.
They said, we want our person to go and play in the World Series of Poker. But Taylor can go down there and sell the seat. I don't know if it's sold out yet or not, but he could sell that seat for $10,000. He's choosing to play. Why are you doing that, Taylor?
Just because I believe in myself. It's always been a dream to really play in it. A few years ago, I just really wanted to play in it ever since then, and like now that there was actually a satellite tournament that I could get to play, I, of course, played it and then ended up winning.
Now, Taylor, when people go into sporting events or whatever it may be, you usually have a series of goals, season long, whatever it may be, and it's, I want to achieve this goal first, then this goal second, and then, of course, the ultimate goal would be to win the whole thing and come on the show and tell us how rich you are. What's your first goal, the bottom goal on there? I want to do this first and then reassess and go to the next goal.
Well, my main thing is just to advance on to each day, but as soon as you double up, you always feel better about your tournament life and the way that you can play your hands and the way that you can play your game. As soon as you get twice your starting stack, you can do anything from there.
So number one on the list is double up.
Double up and advance on.
Number one on the list is make it to day 2.
Well,
and then double up, I guess, as soon as possible. But then I think if you make it to day 4, it's usually like day 3 or day 4 where they hit the point where everybody cashes. And I think when you cash out, the bottom rung that you cash out at is around $20,000. So that would be a $10,000 profit for anybody who paid to get in. For you, it would be a sheer $20,000 profit. So what day does that usually happen?
I'm not quite sure, but it'll be a good day.
It sure will.
Yeah. And now, when they make the announcement, you're at the table, they make the announcement, everybody here cashes, because I think they make an announcement
They
like
do.
that.
Oh, yes.
And it takes forever. It takes forever because they have to freeze every table because every table has to be dealing at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, so it takes forever to get it done.
Taylor, if you're at that table and they make that announcement, are you going all in on the next hand? Like, oh, what do I got to lose now? I've already made $20,000.
Definitely not. I'm going for number one. I'm going for number one, and that's my main goal. I'd love to make it down and be on TV and make a name for myself and make a name for Spokane, really.
Hey, Taylor, the three of us have been on television, not playing poker, but it ain't that
That's
overrated.
That's overrated. Just get the millions. Don't worry about the TV part. Okay, here's a scenario I want to put in front of you, Taylor, because I've often wondered what I would do here. Let's say you're moderately stacked, which for most people that has nothing to do with his body shape or anything. It means that he has like a moderate stack of chips compared to other people who may have a lot more than him and people who may have a lot less than them. You're moderately stacked in this. It's down to the last 2 or 3 before, let's say the last 1 or 2 before everybody's going to cash, okay? And you're dealt pocket aces. And there's a raise already on the table before it gets to you, a big raise that might take, let's say, half your stack. Do you fold those aces?
I think I just push on him because I know I have him beat.
What if he's got way more than you, though? What if the guy's got 3 times the number of chips you've got?
Well, that's your dream. To get aces and have someone raise before you, you got to just push on him.
That's your dream, but you're already got a moderate stack, so you know that there are some small stacks. They're going to go out within the next hour, and you're going to make $20,000. Are you still going to push with those aces?
It's a tough call. It just depends on how it's going, and like I said earlier, it depends on exactly who I'm up against.
Okay. All right, so you're going to play it like almost like normal then, and you're not going to be considered being the bubble guy. That's not going to be a huge factor for you in that situation.
Because I'd like to get some chips to be able to fight with. It's like if I know that
absolutely.
I have the guy beat,
I agree with him. I'd be full of those aces faster than I could get out of the way.
I'm just saying, I've kind of been in that situation, and I did what Taylor did. I did what Taylor just said he would do, and I didn't have aces, but I was pretty good. I had so many outs; it was incredible, and I ended up going out, and that ended up costing me $4,000 to $5,000. So I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Here's my advice, Taylor, because I'm a very bad poker player, but let me give you my advice. Come home And when we say what hand knocked you out, you can say I had pocket aces. Okay? If you come back and you say what hand knocked you out, you say, well, I took a shot on a gut. You know, I had 4-7 and I was on a draw. Don't come back with that story. Come back with I had pocket aces. What can I do? Because you can sleep well at night when that happens.
Unless he gets knocked out on TV, and then
that would be bad.
That's true. If the camera's rolling and you play loose like that, you'll get on TV.
Here's one thing I really want to ask Taylor is because, I mean, you're going to go to this thing, and there are going to be some huge names there. I mean, you know, Johnny Chan and Phil Hellmuth and Daniel Negreanu. All these names are going to be there. If you knew you were going to go in and sit down next to a big name on day one, who do you want to be sitting next to?
I'd like to see Phil Ivey at the table. He's
like the best poker player in the world.
He's supposedly notoriously good, and I've just seen him, and I haven't been too impressed. Really, he's done a lot of good things, but when I actually watch him play his hand out with other people, I'm not too impressed.
He's a huge cash game player, which is a little different style of play. But yeah, but he's got the icy stare, man.
He does.
If you get next to Hellmuth, push him off a hand with crap and show it to him. You'll get on TV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, go ahead.
Everyone tries to do that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Taylor, we wish you the best of luck. We'll get you on the show. Oh,
he plays Sunday. Is Sunday your first day, Taylor?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe we call you Monday.
Well, we'll find out. We'll get him on the show. Hopefully, then he's
still kicking.
Got a lot of money in his pocket. So good luck, Taylor. We appreciate it, and you can see the story on Taylor on LucansAtLarge.com. Thanks for coming on the program.
All right, thanks, fellas.